We really appreciate you being here tonight. I have a list of things I need to cover before we proceed. So I really want to thank the chamber members first and their guests that came out tonight to support this event. Thanks to the chamber board members as well. Thanks to Tony, Nekadam, and Lynn for the video and recording. Thanks to Jeff Keith, the manager of this property here, who took it upon himself to offer this building to us for use at no cost to the chamber, and we really appreciate that. Thanks, Jeff. One other thing, I want to thank Leela for serving the food tonight. And I do want to thank the city government people here tonight as well, from city manager and Jocelyn and Kyle and Patrick Driscoll. Thank you very much for being here. We do have a small announcement here to say that Mr. Steve Burgess, the president or the ex-president of the city of the chamber, has resigned. It just was too much for him to do with the chamber. He needs some time off. I do want to introduce a couple of new council members. First, I would like to introduce Lynn Nikadam and Drew Lang. Drew Lang is an investment gentleman. He offices up here, so thank you. These Lynn and Drew, they joined the chamber.
You want us to say something now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That's yours.
Me first?
Yeah.
Hello, and everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Lynn Nekadam. I work with Pat at PDA as the marketing director, as well as I own Next Project, which is a photography and videography business we offer to other businesses.
Thank you.
My name is Drew Lang, and I joined the business chamber here joined the board here this past August. And I'm basically raised here in Littleton, Colorado. As Cal said,
Me too.
yes, he's our adopted son. We raised him as a Muslim, so my father, my brother, and myself founded the Lang Investment Group. We're housed upstairs here on the second floor and have worked with Jeff for a number of years. I'm a product of Littleton Public Schools. My kids have gone through the Littleton Public School system. So we're really interested in seeing how good Littleton can be. Pat Donahue always says that Main Street has been kind of the heart and soul of Littleton, but that doesn't mean that the chamber should ignore the other businesses along Broadway or down Santa Fe or in South Park. And so I look forward to getting to know the other business chamber members, and if there's anything that any of us can do to help interface with City Council, or if you have ideas for us, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at any time. Our door is always open, phone's always on. So with that, I'll turn it back to Cal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We really appreciate Drew's volunteering, and as well as Lynn. Do keep in mind the chamber is 100% volunteer, nonprofit. Nobody get paid anything. We just love the city, what the city has given us, and we want to just give back to the community. And with your support, we're going to do that. More than anything else, I really want to extend this to you all. Thank you for your trust in us. Membership right now, as of today, it's 104. So with that in mind, when we originally started this plan with Pat and I, our goal was to have 30 to 40 paid members by the end of September, 3 months ago. We're 104 today, paid members. That is very good vote of confidence for us. Thank you very much. Some of the accomplishments we've done this year: we have established a new website, helped the city last year to pass Initiative 2C and 2D. We brought out record number of voters, which was never heard of. It was a record number, so I don't want to be a Trump here. We helped the city with just a couple of months ago with passing 7B. That basically has to deal with the merging of the fire department Littleton with the South Metro. The bottom line of 7B is that we get better service. I know I'm from Lebanon, and when we call a fire department, they'll show up next week. So we can't afford that here. We supported the city. This issue as well was supported by the city management and city council. We do not, because we do not have the ability to maintain a fire district on our own. Twice we supported Heather Greenwood with Graceful Cafe. Heather is really a great asset for us in the community. She supplied meals for homeless or disadvantaged people, and we thank you for that. We supported her last year by buying the turkeys, and we did that again this year. And this year she served 4 settings, I think about 250. Heather? Where are you, Heather? Oh, there she is. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right now, I would like to ask for Amy Conklin and Pat Cronenberger to come up. They are, both of them are ex-mayor and ex-council people for the city. They started something called the Littleton Leadership Academy. Littleton Leadership sorry. Littleton Leadership Academy is a great organization as well. They really teach students, people in the community, how to be better citizen, how to be better servant for the community, and how to get familiar themselves with the city government. With that, I want to introduce them on behalf of the chamber and the members with a check. Oh, $1,000.
Well, thank you, Chamber, very much. This money is used as scholarships to help offset the costs for the Academy, and it's just really a great program, and we're thrilled to have your support. We have 28 participants coming up in 2019. So we have a couple of our alumnus here. If you could raise your hands, you know who you are. Yeah, that's a good program. Pat, did you want to say anything?
No, you said it all.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you. Moving on. One of the things that we accomplished this year is that Pat Donahue and I attended several city council meetings as well as I have no idea. Bad timing. So Pat and I attended several city council meetings as well as some planning commission meetings. And I believe we were instrumental in voicing our opinion from the chamber to communicate that with the city officials. More than anything, we supported positive minded council people to run for city council as well. Supported business initiatives in the community, strengthening chamber and city relationship. This year, the city of Littleton contributed to us, to the chamber, 5 times the amount they contributed last year. That speaks loud by itself. And one of the things we did too is that we gave a recognition award to city council and the ex-mayor on departing his services for this community. So far, we've had 4 events this year. We had the first one at Platte River Bar and Grill. Thank you, Frank. We had one at Harley Davidson. Thank you, Kathy. We had one at the Atrium. Thank you, Jeff. And then we had one at McKinner's Pizza Bar. Thank you, Kevin. The annual party at McKinner's was, I was very generous. I was expecting 100 people. According to Kevin, we had 240 people show up. That's amazing. Thank you again for your vote and confidence. I want to say something here different. I want you to know we are a nonprofit organization. Nobody get paid anything. So if you're gonna have a lot of money, you wanna donate it to somebody, put it in the community. Thank you very much. I would like to introduce Pat Donahue.
He did really good as a foreigner. Speaking of being a foreigner, so one of the things that Cal, you guys will love this, so, just us Americans, we do these, sayings like, so Cal says, spread your wings, right? You know what he says to people? Spread your legs. One time he's telling me, he says, high on the hog, he says, on the hog. But we love him anyway, and please excuse him for being a foreigner, announcing that board members are councilmen, and anyway, he's going to get it together. So, this chamber, we need to be advocates for the community, advocates for the city, and advocates for business. So it's a challenge to do all three of those things, and we're going to continue to try to accomplish as much of that as we can. And I think we fail if we don't consider all three of those things. We really do feel fortunate to have the relationship with the community and the city and with business that we've started out to have. So thanks everybody for coming and all the support that we've had. I think what I should do is just quickly let everybody know where their money went. And we're not going to post this on our website for reasons you guys probably understand. What we're going to do instead is we're going to email this to everybody. Lynn will send this to you in an email, but just quickly, we started the year January 1st with about $8,500. We collected $28,797 through the year, which we were happy about, and we spent $22,780. And let me just run through where your money went. To support 7B, the chamber spent $4,880 in mailing and yard signs and newspaper ads. We spent $5,400 in our events, including this one tonight, and estimated $1,200, I think, is what we spend on these parties for food and for the little bit of booze that we serve. The Lang investment company gave us $1,000, so we really only spent about $4,400 on our parties, so I don't think that's frivolous. Our new website that we created and the maintenance cost us $2,400. We purchased a tent, which I'm sure you've all seen, and we have one cooler and we have this PA system, and that's all of the chamber's assets, which total up about $2,500. Tonight we're happy that we were able to give the Littleton Leadership Academy some money. We're also giving some money to the K9 unit, so we'll tell you about that here in a minute. We spent $1,300 in insurance. We were a sponsor of Western Welcome for $750. We were graced by giving Graceful $500. We had some telephone, Visa charges, and some miscellaneous, and some newspaper ads that made up the difference. We currently have about $14,500 in our checking account.
Not enough.
I don't know. I actually think it's pretty good. We really don't have any real, need right now for anything. So I think it's going to be nice going into this next year with, some money in the bank, and we're going to get some further renewals, we hope, from businesses as we go forward. We selected the businesses for this chamber. We didn't just go out like mad and try to get everybody we could, and we're still on that approach. We hope that we can continue to grow, but we want to do it with the right folks. We sure don't want to do it with people that are looking to just cause trouble and come to our 4 events a year and get free booze and free drinks, or free food. So anyway, moving on quickly here, I'll try to get this done as fast as I can. One thing I think we did a good job of is we helped the city in a couple of issues that were important to them. I don't think we did quite the job with the business side of things that I would have liked to seen. So we're going to work on that this year, and I'm going to bring that up here in just a second. We just recently sent out a survey to everybody about what we really as businesses could use some help from the city from. I think you all got it on a Survey Monkey email blast. If you didn't get it, please check with us and let us know. We really need to hear from you. We need to collectively voice our opinions to the city, and they want us to do that, and they've challenged us to do that. So please check in on that. You're going to receive another survey from us coming up here pretty soon about, we're going to try to do three awards a year. We're going to do a Community Leader Award, we want to do a Business of the Year Award, and we'd like to do a Volunteer of the Year Award. And all those things, you don't have to be a chamber member to win those things, but the chamber, you all are going to be the factors, and you're going to vote on this. So please pay attention to our emails as you're going to start getting them. They're going to be a little more important than they have been in the past. One other thing that I think is important to a lot of people that are here tonight is that we do a better job on member-to-member. I would guess you'd call it networking. We hate that word, but we think relationships matter a lot, and we think that small business to small business means a lot. So we're planning on showcasing a small business event this year. We're not sure where we're going to have it. Maybe we can talk Mark into using Vega Park or something, and we can all go there and we can display who we are and what we mean to each other and what we mean to the community, and hopefully we promote your business to do better. That is a big part of what we're hoping for here. You know, the city recognizes they've got problems if they don't have small business, and we recognize that they got big problems if they don't have us. So we're all on that same road there. So please pay attention to that. In 2019, I think what our focus is right now is to do a better job for you all in what we can do together business-wise to support the community, to support the city, and support ourselves. So we're going to work hard on that. And also we got an election coming up this year. So anybody that is rerunning for city council, anybody that wants to run for city council, we really as a business chamber want to know you and want to be involved in that and try to help in every way that we can. You know, I think that if you look up what a chamber is supposed to be, I think one of the things that they say that I haven't gone over here is that we're supposed to be kind of a training ground. I'd like to work with Pat a little more this year and let the leadership be that. We'd like to even consider maybe that the Leadership Academy would even host possibly a small business leadership event. And we could get somebody like, say, Cal, who started with a vacuum shop and owns a fair amount of this town. You know, maybe he could speak as how you get rich as a vacuum cleaner salesman, things like that. We really are going to look to the Leadership Academy if we can to form a better relationship, do some future, I think, positive things. So I think we have the rest of it semi-covered. I think now I should, let me look where I'm supposed to. I think I'm supposed to turn this over now to Pat Driscoll. Huh? No, you come on, Pat. Pat Driscoll, so if you don't know, he's our District 1 councilman here in the city, and he's just going to give us kind of a state of the city opinion here, and then we'll move on. Thanks for your time.
Check this one. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending tonight. I really appreciate you coming out. I do want to thank the Littleton Business Chamber. They were huge reasons why we got that fire inclusion passed. Having those signs out there, that was a big, big deal for this city, and it was the right decision based on the percentage that passed. It was 59%. So the other thing that helped us out was 3E, and 3E was executive session. And we felt it was important, City Council, to be able to hold executive session for certain things like negotiating contracts, hiring or firing people. So we're not going to abuse that, and we appreciate the passing of that also. That, by the way, passed with a 54% approval. As you know, this is my first year as City Council, and I just want to acknowledge what a great job. Mark is here. Mark Ralph, our city manager, is here. Debbie Brinkman, our mayor, and Steve Kemp. Those are really the three leaders in City Council, and they've done a great job. And the staff has really gravitated towards their leadership and their vision. And we are just really lucky as a community to have these people leading our city. So I'm very privileged to be part of the City Council. I am looking forward to 2019. That being said, we had a busy year. So I'm going to just cover three things out there that were the highlights, and then I'm going to cover about 20 things very quickly. I'll be sticking around afterwards if you guys want me to elaborate on any of these topics. But as Cal and Pat said, the fire inclusion was a big deal. We've had our own fire department for over 100 years. My wife and I attended the fire department award ceremony this past Friday, and we are very fortunate to have such a great group of men and women serving our city. That being said, starting January 1st, not a whole heck of a lot changes other than South Metro is going to be paying their bills. All the stations stay in place. All the employees stay in place. They're going to be at the same stations. So it's a little bittersweet that it's going to stay South Metro, but that's the deal. Last year in 2000, I guess January of 2018, we talked about what was important for the city and what had to happen. And one of the things Mark talked about was developing a comprehensive plan. I'm sure our former mayor, Bruce Beckman, who's here and did a great job, but we've done a lot of plans. We've done a lot of visioning out there, but everything seems to get shelved. And so Debbie and Mark have gotten together and said, let's really put something together that is substantial, that includes a transportation master plan, which, by the way, we've never had. And so Keith Reister is putting together that transportation master plan. And all that combined is really going to help this city, not just today, we're calling it Comprehensive 2040. So it's really going to be the direction for future councils and leadership for a long time. I'm going to read just real quickly what that means. There's one paragraph that I pulled out of some paperwork, and it reads like this. The policy framework for Littleton provides continuity, balances public and private interests, honors our shared values, shapes the appearances of our community, solidifies decision-making processes to be values-driven and priority-based, and finally delivers the collective vision provided by community input. So Kathleen Unser and Kinder Keys, they got together, and you've probably seen it, Envision Littleton. That's what I'm talking about. So we've gone out and they've gone out and they've been talking to everybody, all the small groups, business leaders, even visitors, getting their opinion, getting a vision for Littleton. We need to start with a vision. We got that division. Phase 1 gets adopted on Tuesday the 18th. So we're really excited about that. It's been a big deal. There will be a total of 5 phases, and we will have that wrapped up by the fall of next year. So that is going to be really a big deal for us to get through that. And this is a living document. This is something we're going to be able to rely on. And when we're not quite sure, we're going to go back and say, what did the citizens say? So we're excited about that. I don't know if this is in the highlights. It was one of my highlights of the year, and it's mainly because Team Tipton, Bob Tipton. Anybody know Bob around the community? The city has hired Team Tipton, and this is Jocelyn Mills, and they're overhauling the city's development process. Do we have any developers in here? Anybody that owns a home in here? Anybody have to go through the city for a permit? We're overhauling that whole process. We're going to make it predictable. We're going to make it fast. We're going to make it effective and efficient. So that's really exciting to me because, I think for a while there, we kind of felt like we were closed for business. So one of the things I ran on was, Littleton's open for business, and I'm happy to say we're getting that department and those 22 employees all on the same page and moving in the same direction. So that's really exciting. So those were the three things that, in my mind, sort of the Team Tipton piece was a tiny bit of that, but there were so many other things. So let me just cover some other things. So we updated our codes. Anybody familiar with South Park and Triple J? That sort of got us moving, saying we got to get our codes updated. So in the future, if a gun range or an adult entertainment facility or some special business or store wants to open up, they're going to have to go through a little bit more in-depth process. So I'm really excited that unfortunately, it had to happen because of a situation, but we're moving in the right direction on that. We did a lot of updating ordinances and approving resolutions. We also teamed up with Sheridan and Inglewood to discuss the homelessness in all three communities. And we have our Councilwoman Carol Fay is our liaison for that board. So we're excited to recognize that this is not going away and it needs to be addressed. And how can we make that better situation? We've been working on the or I should say, we created a Bellevue corridor vision plan. That was really a directive driven by Mayor Brinkman, and that is really a huge asset for any developer or owner that says, what does the community want along the Bellevue corridor? So, and I'm talking about the Bellevue corridor, I'm talking about from basically from Santa Fe up to Lowell Boulevard. So that's exciting that they can go back and look and say, this is what the community wants. Hopefully save them a little time, certainly save them some money, I would think. Short-term rentals, that has been a big topic of late for the last 2 months or so. On Tuesday night, we decided, we did a first reading last week. Tuesday night, we decided we're going to pull that off a second reading for next week. We still got to get the definition or the guidelines a little stronger. So the public spoke, we're listening, and we're going to pull that and go back to study session on that and try to get that tightened up. Columbine Square, anybody lives over on that part of town, that is on Bellevue and Federal. That's been fenced off for 3+ years. I'm happy to say we finally got application submitted by the owner, and it's in with Planning Commission right now. So we're moving slowly, but we're moving on that. We also put together what we call the PPP, the Preliminary Project Plan Process. That is really for people that are coming to the community. Hey, I want to build here on this site. What do you think? Is that right project for that site? Again, saving time and money and not going through a lot of work for nothing. We worked on a little bit on the mineral light rail station. Sort of what does that look like down the road? We also been working with, not working with, but we've also had the parcel across from the mineral light rail station called the Enser property. 32 of those acres are owned now by Evergreen Development. They've submitted their plans and working through the planning process on that. The other 48 acres over there just went under contract, I understand, by a home builder. So, we'll see what they have in store. We did a citywide sign ordinance for those people that have a business downtown. Littleton, we allow sandwich boards on the street, right? Doesn't sound like a big deal. It's a big deal. So there's a whole new sign ordinance update that we did. We put together special events permits. You don't think about these things, but this year we issued over 170 permits, special events permits. So this town's got a lot going on. We also we have the biogas or the wastewater treatment center down in Inglewood, and Inglewood is our partner on that treatment center. So we teamed up with them to take that biogas and turn that in, converting that into usable gas. So that's a big project that, we're not going to, we wrote a big check, right? $4 million. So that's going to pay off over time, and we think we made a wise decision there. We talked about affordable housing. That's obviously always top of conversation when you're moving into a community that, frankly, the average home here is probably around $300,000, $350,000. So how do we keep the kids in our community? A lot of transportation discussions and about our roads and what does that look like. So Keith did a lot of presentations throughout the year on what we need to be doing. And by the way, when we approved the merger, or not the merger, but the inclusion with Littleton, or with South Metro Fire, that a piece of that takes care of our roads. $3.1 million now will go back into our roads, so that's a big deal. Priority-based budgeting, something that we're starting to adopt and seeing what's really the most important things we got to take care of today and things that we can shelf for a little bit longer. We updated our zoning map. The city hosted 4 major events this year: the Candlelight Walk, the Elf Crawl, the Western Welcome Week, and the Criterium. Did anybody make it down to the Criterium? That was a good deal. That was a great deal. That was nationally. That was on national TV. Really good deal. And we updated our downtown design standards. And then really finally, the other thing that I think is worth noting, our head of HR, Noelle, is working with staff and really trying to change the culture. And she just brought this presentation to us the other night at study session. And it was really exciting to hear where Mark and Noelle and the rest of the group are, what they're trying to do with just the culture in general and becoming more customer service centric. And I'm really excited about that and see how that, I'm hoping you start feeling a difference when you go down to the city of Littleton and you just, it's a little bit easier going, I guess, more friendly and certainly more helpful to get your projects moving through. And I'll just wrap this up, but Kelly Nardi tells me we're going to be having our new visitor guide coming out in the first quarter of 2019. So that's, I don't know if you saw the one they did last year, but it was just beautiful. 2019, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff. We're going to be continuing following up on this, but we have our retreat coming up in January, and I'm sure Mark will have plenty for us to do in 2019. So do we have time for questions, or not right now? No. Okay, no time for questions. I'm around. Thanks.
Thank you, Patrick. That's very kind. I would like now to introduce Greg Ranke. He is the president of the Littleton Merchant Association, Hoodlum. He have a couple of things he want to talk about, and please, I know he loves to talk. Do not applause.
Ask questions, though. So who runs this place, Cal? Cal asked me to dress up, so I'm here to talk about the Merchants Association. I want to kind of give you a little background of what happened, how it all started. 2001. What? I have no idea what he's saying. I do want to thank Drew. What a great meeting.
Greg. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Greg,
We love the Merchants Association, but this isn't about the Merchants Association. So what we wanted to do is, we think that nobody in this town has promoted this town more than Greg Ranke, and he doesn't get the love because of his personality. But we love him to our core and accept him who he is and are so happy that he's our brother. And we really need to pay him a debt of gratitude, and that's what we're here to do tonight. And hopefully somebody can take some pictures of Ranke and this award that we're giving him from the Business Chamber for Community Leader of the Year.
Wow.
You can read it.
You spelled grape wrong. Says Cal. Anyway, Community Leader Award presented to me. Thank you for your relentless commitment. I said reckless commitment. I had no clue. Just so you all know, they told me to come talk about the merchants. So
Well, you talk too much already.
I spent the last 2 hours thinking of stuff. So I'll hit you next time, I guess, with the whole thing. But that was really kind of you, and good job.
You really want to talk about the merchants?
Well, I would for just a second.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Ricky.
30 seconds.
Well, I would take a minute. Okay. I won't tell you everything I was going to tell now that I saw what's going on. To be honest, I'm humbled. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
We
guys.
love you, Greg.
Yeah, thank you. The Merchant Association, I joined it in around 2000. There were 9 merchants down here. Cost $15 to join for the year. What was interesting, you could lease Main Street for $3 a square foot. There were very few people down here, and on Friday, you know how you can't find parking? You could park all day long, any place you want, until Monday morning. What's interesting is a guy named Jim Campbell, and if you don't know who that was, he is at Colorado Business Bank, and we were sitting out in 2000 in June at Abe's Cafe on the patio there. It was a June day on a Wednesday, and we were the only ones there. There was no one down here. No one came down to Littleton. You drove through Littleton. And I looked at Jim and I said, Jim, we need to do something or this place is going to die. Just let you know, I bought my property for $1.1 million, and I paid $400,000 more than I had to. I just didn't want the guy to say no. I have 60,000 square feet. That tells you what this place was going for down then. So I told Jim we need to do something. He goes, what do you want to do? I said, well, why don't we start doing concerts on Wednesday to bring people down here? And if you are an old timer from here, there used to be a golf shop where Tees is. Well, he said, what do you want to do? I said, let's put a band in. He goes, where would you put it? I said, let's put it on top of the roof like the Beatles. And he goes, where? I said, the golf shop. So we started doing the whoopee cushion rooftop concerts. And everybody goes, why'd you call it that? And I found out something, when you don't have money, have a really silly name and people will remember it. And my guys would drag the bands up every Wednesday. And a gal on KOSI, Joe Myers, heard about this. She came down to lunch, and then she would go back and talk about these bands we put up on the roof. What's funny is after 2 weeks of doing this, there were over 10 people sitting at Abe's Cafe on a Wednesday. But we started doing events. You've probably seen the Pumpkin Follies and Goat Show. The pumpkin poles were a team building thing that I made up because people like Cal didn't like me. He literally would cross over the street, then walk by me. The merchants down here had no idea. They fought about everything. They still kind of do, but they do it like brother and sister now instead of enemies. But what's interesting, by doing these events, we did the pumpkin poles. There's at least 5 to 6 merchants on each one. They have to work together. I put people that don't like each other on the same pole, taught them to work. And that's what we do today still, when you see those poles. We started doing the turkey leg and wine hoedown. We did the block party. We took that over from the Southwest Metro Chamber, and you can see where that's gone. What's interesting about this is it brought so many people down here. We are now 98% leased in downtown Littleton. They're getting $45 to $60 a square foot. In fact, this building, I believe, has 1 office. Is that right? Available. This sat empty for years. You could lease this for $10, $15 a square foot at one point. All day long. So what we've done is we took our ideas and we built on it. The merchants, and we worked with the city, and we worked with South Metro Chamber, but we worked with different entities to make things happen. Here's our quagmire now. I represent the Merchants Association, and the chamber came in. And people said, well, you're going to merge the two? And I said, absolutely not. The merchants, I'm the voice of the merchants. Most of the merchants down here don't live in the city of Littleton and don't have a vote. So if they don't like Pat, they can't vote him out. But I won't let that happen, Pat, okay? The point is that we have a voice through the Merchant Association. The chamber are the property owners. Most of the people in this chamber own the property. It's awesome to get those people together. Well, by us working with the chamber and the chamber working with us, we can get a lot done. So this is what I mean by our quagmire. We become so successful, and when I became president, I told the merchants we need to start getting assets instead of renting everything. All the stages you see for the block party are owned by the merchants. We own tables, we own chairs, we own props, we own a deep fryer to cook the turkey legs in. We own all that stuff. Well, we've lost our lease for the storage unit because everything down there, including a dumpster, you can get $40 a square foot for. So we're trying to find a place. And the reason I'm bringing this up is we lose it in December 31st. I'm putting several pods or mini mobiles in my property, and I'm telling this in front of the city, so it could be an issue. But I'm doing that because I do have a contractor's thing going on for my roof. And so I think I can do it, but I'm going to be putting the merchant stuff into it. At least through probably November of next year, because that's when my roof will probably get fixed. Just as a stopgap, but we're trying to find a place to put some storage units. So if anybody knows of a place that's not in Commerce City or Aurora, we'd really like it. And it's to store the merchants' equipment so that we can continue to do the block party, the turkey leg, the pumpkin poles, and everything else we do down here. So if there's a way you can help, please see me afterwards. And I know I took more than a minute or two, but you'll get over it. But thank you so much for everything.
Drew, you're next? No? Okay, all right. I do want to apologize. We did not bring enough chairs, so I apologize for the young folks that are standing up, but you all look so pretty, you know. Right now, I'd like to introduce Mr. Lee Renner. Lee Renner is a board member, and his wife has done this painting. Connie Renner is a very renowned artist. She's done local people such as some guy by the name of Elway and Pat Boland and the Coors family as well. And she didn't just do it on her own, she was commissioned by those families to do the painting. Lee, would you please talk about the painting, please?
I want to thank everybody that's here tonight. It's a real pleasure to see the turnout we're getting. When we started a little over a year ago, it wasn't anywhere near this. So I'm very pleased to see this and thank everybody for attending. I want to respond to the K9 unit. And you wonder, how did the chamber get involved with the K9 unit? And we had a meeting with the city manager, Mark Ralph, and he brought several things up to us last year. And the K9 unit was a priority to him. And the board looked at it and we thought, yeah, we'd like to participate. I mean, this is something that sounds very good. So I would like to have, let's see, Joe Hansen, Sue Otto, Sue Hansen, and Karen, is it Wadowski? Close? Chambers raised $2,000 to donate to the K9 Association. And, I'm sorry, we've raised $2,000 out of our funds to donate to the K9 Association. We're also going to have an auction tonight, and we want to point out that the Friends of Littleton K9, they're selling t-shirts and pens and different items that, again, it goes to an excellent cause for the K9 unit. With this, I'd like to go ahead and present this check to these people, and I would also like to have Joe explain more of the history of the K9. Thank you very much. say a few words, Joe?
There you go.
Lee, thank you very much for that introduction. Folks, on behalf of the Friends of Littleton K9, we greatly appreciate the opportunity to share our program with you tonight, and thank you for your support. The Friends of Littleton K9 were formed in 2014 at the urging of one of the handlers for the Littleton Police Department. At that point in time, they only had one animal, and it seemed like the community just wasn't aware of the K9 program. All of our members at the Friends of Littleton K9 also belong to the Littleton Police Citizens Academy Alumni Association. We call ourselves just the alumni. And of course, that means that we attended the Citizens Academy, which part of that program is you learn about the K9 unit at LPD. And it was through that education, getting to meet the handlers, talking to the other police officers, we realized how important a K9 unit is, even to a small agency like Littleton. It's integral in keeping the community safe, the residents, including our valued corporate citizens in the community. And again, we're very pleased to have your support. I've always thought that the more that we get out, we educate the people that live and work in Littleton, they come to understand just how vital this program is to law enforcement in general. We would garner your support. In a perfect world, there's 17,000 households in Littleton. If only 5% of those could free up $10 a year, we'd be set. The last animal that we purchased, K9 Zon, was in September of last year at a cost of a little over $18,000 for him and 5 weeks of training in California. So as you can see, these dogs are not inexpensive. But again, it's our belief that they're vital to keeping this community safe, a neat place to live, work, and play. Thank you.
I believe that this is, they've had 4 dogs in entire history. And these 2 dogs are the last 2 dogs they've received. Is that correct? That's correct. So what we'd like to do, we would like to, Cal's an auctioneer. Before he became a vacuum cleaner repairman, he was auctioning goats in Lebanon. So we hope to raise some money for these dogs, these paintings that will go to the K9 unit. And then, as Cal had mentioned, my wife, she's collected by museums. She's done the Coors family, Elway holding up trophies, Shanahan's, bank presidents. She's a very well-known artist. She's been painting for over 40-some years. She would have been here tonight, but she's in Charlotte with our daughter. But right now, I'd just like to introduce Cal for auctioning. And we have one other thing at the end of the auction. We have Officer John here, who is going to do a demo with one of the dogs. And then that will be it for the end of the evening. Thank you.
All right, so we do have these 2 pictures presented by Connie Renner. We're going to auction them tonight, and I want you to know that all the proceeds that we're going to collect tonight, we're just going to pass it on to the Littleton Police Academy. Littleton K9 unit. One thing I do want to say, if you have time, really you should sign up for the Littleton Citizen Police Academy. I was asked to be a student of it by the police chief then, Gary Moss. And after the first class, I went into his office. I said, Gary, this is too intermediate for me. I know all this stuff. I don't need to do it. He said, Cal, I need you to do it. Please stay with it because you are a public figure and I need you to stay. So I did. And at the end of the class, which was 8 weeks later, I came back into his office. I said, I have to tell you, I had no idea what you guys go through. The worst thing that you guys do is that when you stop somebody on the road and you walk up to a car, you have no idea what's in it, who's in it, what they are on. I mean, you're putting your life on the line, and that's the thing that I took for granted. The other things, I used to live in a big house, and my alarm would go on all the time, and I would call the sheriff, and the sheriff comes in, and they go into this house, no floor plan, they just walk in. We don't register this. So I encourage you, it's a great thing to do for the community. So thank you. We're going to start the auction on the first picture, the small picture, with $100 with an increment of $25 each. Keep in mind, all the money we raised is going straight to them. We're not doing any of this. I do want to correct something with Lee, if that's okay. We raised $1,000 during September event. The chamber matched it. So that's why we gave you $2,000. So I'm going to start the bidding with $100 on the small picture. Right here. Going. We got 200. 300. We got 300. 400. We got 400 for the small picture. 500. All right, one more. Going. Once. 450. Okay, 450. How about 475? Come on, give me 470, 470, 470, I guess, 470. Do I have 500? 500, 500, I got 500. Do I have 600? No. 525, 525, going. Come on. 525. Going once. Going 550. Going twice. Who's getting 575? Sold. 550. Thank you, Keith. I thought you liked goats. All right, next one is the big picture. It's beautiful. I love these backgrounds. I mean, really, look at the color. I mean, it's great. Anyway, we're gonna start that one at 300, and we're gonna go up in the increment of $50. So here we go. We got a price of 300 with a 325, 350, 350 going, 350 going, 350, 400, 450. I need to hear 450. Come on, it's going to a good cause. 450, 500, 450, 500. Okay, 550, going. Come on, it's going to the police academy. It's the dog, they need to eat, they need to have circumcision, you never know what else they need. Come on, we need some money, hurry up. Okay, going out of 500, 550 going once, 550, come on. Somebody, 1, 2, 3, 550. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Now what I want to do is I would like everybody to stay in their seat, don't move around. Kermit, would you mind moving back a little bit? Because we're going to do the demo with Kona, right? John? Yeah, Kermit, get out of the way. John? Thank you. So I want to introduce you to John. He's a Littleton Police officer. Thank you for your services, sir. We appreciate it. And he's going to tell you about what's going to happen. So please, we're going to keep this area here clear. The dog is going to come in and he's going to take somebody down.
He's going to attack me.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Thanks for donating the $2,000, and the picture is great. Thank you for donating that. It helps us out immensely. Like I said at the beginning, in 2008 we had 2 dogs. One dog, after 2 years, didn't pass any certification, so we lost that dog, and we were running 1 dog. Can you guys hear me? No. Oh gosh. Okay. Is that better? Yeah. So in 2000, about almost 10, we lost the 1 dog because it wouldn't pass certification no more. So we ran 1 dog from 2010 to 2014 until we got a generous donation from one of the ladies from the Friends of Littleton that she bought K9 Coda for us. So we were able to have 2 dogs. The dogs, like they said, are very expensive. It costs a lot of money to keep them going. We have to train all the time. With their help, raising the money, if something happened to one of our dogs right now, we wouldn't be able to, if we had to rely on the city, because we don't have our own funding for the K9 program. So if we had to rely on the money from the city, it'd be 1.5 to 2 years before we can even get a dog again, because we have to go through all the budget processes. At least with the Friends of Littleton K9, if we lose a dog tomorrow, they can write us a check and we can start looking for a dog right then and there and get a dog back into the States within a couple months. So it helps us out immensely. A little bit on the dogs, they're dual purpose dogs, so they'll do apprehension or patrol work like we call it, and they also will find illegal drugs. K9 Coda is my dog. He's a German Shepherd Belgian Malinois mix, and K9 Zahn is a purebred German Shepherd. So we'll just do a little, we won't do the drug stuff because that's boring. Yeah, you never know what we'll find, because sometimes we find some stuff. So we'll do some bite work. This is Parker Choate. He's one of our officers. He's what we call a decoy, or affectionately known as our chew toy. So I used to have to do that for a long time, and I finally got a dog, so I don't have to get bit anymore. So he's the guy that gets to do that. So you can see the suit down here. That's a pretty old suit, and they go right around $1,000 for a new suit. So you can see how much stuff costs. I got a sleeve here that I'll pass around. You'll see how hard the dogs bite. It's one of those things. The dogs are very important. They help save people. If a dog saves one person, it's worth the money on the dog. I love my dog to death. If he died, it'd kill me. But our philosophy is pause before boots. So the dog goes in before an officer does. So if the dog gets killed and it saves an officer or a citizen or even a bad guy from us having to shoot him, that's worth the money no matter what. And the dogs are very, very valuable to us. So what we'll do, I'll go get my dog. He's very social. You guys can pet him. That's what the dogs are now. They're very social until they feel a threat or until I tell them a certain word, which is in German. Then all of a sudden you'll see how they change. You can see he'll be throwing them up against the wall, hitting them, stuff like that. The dog's having fun. His tail's wagging. Him biting and doing this stuff, that's his playtime. That's his vacation. They enjoy that more than being at home doing nothing. They're very, very hyper dogs. And then after they bite somebody, stuff like that, I can bring them around to you guys. They'll sit on your lap and be social again. They can change at a flip of a hat. So what we'll do, he's going to go back there. I'll come in with the dog, let you guys pet him, stuff like that. If you're afraid of a dog, let me know. I won't put him right next to you. And then anytime that we use the dog, we have to make announcements by law, 99% of the time. So you'll hear me make announcements, and as soon as I do that, you'll see the dog start changing. His behavior, his tail, his ears, his hair. You'll see him start doing spins. It's called combat circle because he wants to go to work. He doesn't want me to hold him back. But you'll see how he keys up, especially when someone's wearing a suit like that. But if somebody else came by and was walking by and I told him to watch that person, he'd do that without a suit because the dogs just know what the threat is. So we're going to have him come out here. So just if you guys want to go from this pillar back that way, and then that way you guys don't get the slobber and the tail and all that stuff on you guys. And, yeah, you guys. And then I'll bring the dog in.
While they're getting the dog, I just want to say one or two other things. We do have the Friends of Littleton K9 unit over here. They have tons of gear that if you wanted to buy a hat or a vest or a sweater or all different types of clothing or a pet dog or pens, they'll be here after the demonstration. So if you want to buy something, it'd be a great Christmas gift to get. And then we also have a ton of food and beer and wine left over, so please feel free to help yourself. I don't know that I get in the way of the dog just yet, though. So, anything else? Yeah, I have one. All right.
I have one more announcement, and Connie Renner just sent the text to Lee. Connie is in North Carolina with her daughter who just broke her wrist. This is what she said, and I'd like you to really listen to this. Connie really wants to help the police department, K9 unit, and is willing to paint your dog up to a size of a horse, if you wish. Starting, she want to auction it at $500. So she will come over and paint your dog, your goat, your chicken, your horse, your pig, whatever. If you and all the proceed that the 500 is going to be going to the K9 unit. So if you're interested in that, I guess put your hand up. Or see Lee. Come, Lee.
We'll do that. Cal.
You'll do that?
Yeah.
500?
Yeah.
Well, done. Anybody want to raise? Let's do it. 550 to paint your own dog. 200? 7. 2 dogs. So 1,000? Okay, so we got 1,000 for 2 dogs. Going up 50. I'm sorry, I can't.
That's okay.
Repeat it? Okay. So Connie said she really wants to help the police K9 unit and is willing to paint your dog, your chicken, your cat, your horse, whatever animal you like. She want to auction it starting at $500. So if you have a pet that you love, you want it to be painted, Connie will do it for the charge, whatever the price would be, and all the proceeds will go to the K9 unit. So we have Jeff here want to paint 2 dogs for a cost of $500 each. I'm going to take that.
We'll do 3 for $1,500.
3 for $1,500. Oh my gosh. Who wants to do that? Is that okay, Lee?
3 for $1,500.
1 picture or 3 pictures?
And it's okay. It doesn't matter.
3. You want to do them 2 in 1 or 2 in 1? So it'll be 500. Let's start it at 500. I want to be fair.
He'll do 2 at 500. 2 for
2 at 500 each. Okay. All right. Anybody go? Oh, I have a camel. Can she paint a camel? So we have 2 dogs at 1,000, 3 dogs at 1,500, and 1 camel at 500. Anybody with the double camel hump? So we got 15, 25, we have $3,000. Anybody else want to do that? All right, sold, done, thank you. Hang out, watch the demonstration. It is extremely impressive. It scared the heck out of me. That's why I'm a good citizen. I don't want to be on the other side. Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. We really appreciate your support. Please, if you have not renewed your membership, renew it online. We got it. Or send a check.
Dog here.
So Cal, it looks like we raised about $6,000 tonight for the K9.
So we're really happy to be able to say that it sounds like I got bad math, but we raised about $6,000 for you all tonight because of all these folks and their generosity. But I have to give. I want to point out again that I got to give kudos to Mark Ralph, our city manager. He challenged us to help you all. So you owe the thanks to Mark. We're good, we're done.
You know. Heather Greenwood, are you here or she left? She left. Okay. Here's Coda. Here's Coda.
He knows something. Here. You. Littleton Police K9. You in the building, make yourself known, or it's a dog you'll bite. Littleton Police So they're trained to just bite and they hang on. No matter what's going on, he's going to hang on to it. And that's all he's supposed to do is hang on. The more he fights him, the more the dog enjoys it. If he actually stops fighting and that's dead, the dog will actually be like, okay, what are we doing? Are we going to fight? So like, I was like, what are we doing? But as soon as he starts fighting him, he starts going harder. As you can see, the dogs don't like the floor. It's slippery for him. But he's there, he can roll on the ground with him. And he's not going to let go until I tell him. He will bite whatever is given to him, so like you can have his arms sit there. His head was down low, he bites it. As you can see, he plays his ears. Sometimes he'll be hitting him with a stick. Now he's upset because I know we're going to take him off here in a second. He can hit him with a stick. It's not hurting the dog, it's just letting the dog know that hey, just because you're getting hit, to them, they're not getting hurt. Even though they are. They do get hurt. It's easy to kill a dog when they're like this. All you gotta do is grab it. Great. You'll see me what I'll do is I'll actually lift them off because with the way dogs are, if they re-bite the person, I get in trouble. It's a lawsuit. So usually what we do is we come up and we'll grab him. It doesn't hurt the dog. It just makes it so I got control of them. And you'll see him, they'll probably try to bite me. Out. And then he'll just watch him until it's time to do something. They're trained on handler protection, so I don't have to give him a word to do anything. He'll just do it if he knows Dad's in trouble. So, plats, 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 plats. So I can come talk and say plats and be fine with him. He's not going to do anything until he feels like, oh! As soon as he knows Dad's in trouble, he's going to bite. We train that so that way I got a popper on my door. If I'm out talking to somebody and all of a sudden I get in a fight, we can pop the door and come out running and pick up the guy.
Hey, John.
They're not trained to hurt, they're just trained to hold on.
What happened if he falls to the ground?
If he goes to the ground, dog will just go with him.
I see.
So he just stays on him and like see how he's like, nah, this ain't nothing going on. If he starts shaking more with him, the dog will be like, okay, well, I ain't doing nothing, you're not really a threat. But he'll actually pull him anywhere he wants. The dog's just going to hang on. Wow. There was a thing going around, a little plastic thing that I can explain later, but that's how hard they bite. The suit, it doesn't look like it hurts, but it does. So if he actually rolled on his back and grabbed him, he'd stay on the bite. He don't care. Oh my God. See? So Chote's 100 and some pounds, and he's got 10, 15 pounds of that on him, and he's still just pulling him around. So the dogs are very strong. I don't know if you can see his paw. And on this floor, he just slips, so it's very hard for him, and it's not comfortable for the dogs on this type of floor. Out. Hold it. Out. Out. stressed? No. You want to put your pants on? So usually what we do is we have them right up here on the arms, and the chest for training, because it's thicker padding, so it doesn't hurt people. I got burn scars from if they fight here, they make sure that one plastic is going around that plastic piece goes underneath that leather sleeve. So those teeth marks through the leather to that plastic. The black goes underneath on your arm, yeah, on the top. So that shows how strong you are fighting. And when you're fighting, it's harder to fight. So I'll show you what he, as far as, I just do a leg bite. So now he sees the guy again. So you guys. He don't care what it is. So if all he's giving him is a leg, that's what he's going to bite. He's going to give him his hand, he's going to bite his hand. Our other officer, I didn't get to tell you, she's not here because she actually got hurt in the training exercise, where the other dog did her hand. So broke bone and it wasn't a long fight. So he don't care what happens. He's like, whatever. He just likes, okay, stop fighting my dog. Dakota, out. Here. We do training where he'll be fighting one decoy, and then another decoy will come out and hit us. Sometimes they let go of that one and come out and hit us because they're like, well, that's that. It's just a matter of
Will he respond only to your voice when the man says you, or if someone speaks to the man,
if it's somebody that is fighting, because he knows that you don't fight it. If you're fighting someone, no matter what they say, you can. Other officers in command to a point, but not very good. They can work in, but you know, not around. It's very hard. We have to teach our officers to be able to handle them and know how to take them on. We have had officers hang around to die because they've been shot or hurt, and the dog will not keep that officer's side. Fire department, police officers come in and try to save the person. The dog doesn't want they don't want to have any hurt.
Hey, John. John, do you mind hanging around after this for take questions from people?
Yeah, good job.
Thank you for showing up. I would like to invite you all to help yourself to some food and drinks, and we do have one request from Mr. Taylor, Keith Taylor. He is willing to forfeit his painting and donate the money directly to the K9 unit if our state representative would like to have her painting done. The small one? I don't know, you know.
We'll work on it after.
We'll work on the legalities later. Is that all right? Okay. Thank you for coming. Please enjoy yourself. Get to know each other, and hope we'll see you on the next event. Thank you to everybody. Mark, thank you.